Hey guys, thanks for joining me for another stream tonight. And tonight we are actually streaming some Dokkan. I know I've been doing a lot of DFFOO stuff lately. Dokkan's been actually pretty dead, but now we've got a world tournament. And I thought it would be fun tonight. Like, I'm just kind of hanging out this weekend. I thought it would be fun to just play world tournament, and then I could just sit and kind of chat with you guys. And I figured if people want to hop in, you want to talk DFFOO, you want to talk Dokkan, we can chat about all that stuff. And I think this will just be like a nice, fun, chill stream. Where I can just kind of be grinding tournament, and you guys can help make my suffering a little bit easier by kind of making this a stream, right? Whereas if I'm just grinding by myself, it's kind of boring. So yeah, I thought let's grind some world tournament tonight, because for once I'm actually going to try a little bit for the world tournament, because the rewards, there's actually good incentives. So that's part of the reason that I'm actually like getting into this world tournament a little bit more. In the past, I really didn't have an incentive. Like when Kais were rare, I would have the incentive to go up to like 30 mil, but then I became overflowing with Kais, so then I didn't even have the incentive to go to 30 mil, so I'd start going to 23 mil to get the new character. Well, now we've got all these new Easy A's, and you actually need like quite a bit if I want to get like all these Easy A's done. I think if you want to Easy A all of the new units, there's like 4 of them for like TURs. I think you actually have to get top 10 overall, which I'm definitely not shooting for that. My real goal is I just want to get LR Piccolo and at least the Tech Gohan done, but I'd like to get the Tech Super Saiyan Goku done as well, because I think he's also a very good unit. So I want to try to get, units done that I really like. So shout out to all of you joining me. I'm not expecting it would be awesome if a ton of people show up. I'm not expecting as many as usual, because one, this isn't like a DFFOO character guide, because I know that brings a lot of people in, and two, this was really like just spur of the moment. I didn't like put any notifications out ahead of time. So those of you jumping in, you guys are the goats. Thanks for jumping in. So we got 9 in here. Cool. I'll definitely take that. So Clarence Davis is here, finally getting to catch a live stream. Thanks for coming, Clarence. I'm glad you're here. Clarence, let me know if you're more of a DFFOO or a Dokkan player. Maybe you play both. But yeah, feel free to hit me up with questions, no matter which game you play. And all of that. And let me know how your world tournament grind is going, if you're all grinding the world tournament right now. Just so you guys know, this is my team. Just if you guys want to know like what my setup is. So this is what I'm running. Now I used to run a full LR team, but I am finding STR Piccolo to be very fast and efficient. So I'm basically running my normal full LR team, but I did slide in STR Piccolo, and I am bringing the friend STR Piccolo. And what I do to expedite it is when you go in here to like change your friend, I just have it sorted to Super STR Namekians, and the whole friends list now will be Piccolos. That's kind of what I'm rolling with. You get a little bit less points than a full LR team, but with 2 Piccolos, I find I typically always have one around, and his animations are super fast. Especially compared to like Broly, who sometimes has to attack twice. And he always one-shots. I've never not killed with Piccolo because it's guaranteed crits, right? It's really, really awesome. So definitely hype for that. And yeah, I don't know. I think the thing with these World Tournament Easy A's too is they actually made them quite good. So I'm very, very stoked about how good they are, especially that Tech Gohan. He's kind of like my main one that I'm really interested in. So for sure. All right, so let's see where I'm at on points. And you guys, if you're playing World Tournament, if you're watching live, or maybe you're watching, I'll have this live stream go up a little bit later too on my channel. So if you're watching it later, y'all can let me know how your points compared to mine. So I'm approaching 50 million right now. This is pretty high for me because I normally get to like 30 million and quit. So I'm going to go for my new high. My goal is if I could get to 100 mil, I would love to join the 100 mil club. I've never done 100 mil before in a world tournament. Clarence, I'm a DFFOO player, not really into Dokkan. That's cool, Clarence. So Clarence, even though you maybe don't care about what you're watching here, if you have questions about DFFOO or want to chat DFFOO, you guys want to talk about that, the controversy that we just had with that new daily exchange shop, we can chat about that too. That was quite interesting. It was interesting to see some of the comments on that video. Very interesting. I was going to do like a community reaction video, but I decided I probably shouldn't, because all it's going to do is like the people that disagree with me, it's just going to make them more angry. And there's no point in doing that, because I think the people that disagree with me that shop is a good thing, like nothing I'm going to say is going to make them agree at this point. And obviously nobody's going to make me think that the shop is bad. Like I think the shop is super good. I don't think there's any denying it, right? Radix64 is here. Hello, thanks for coming, Radix. Thanks for hanging out. Yo boy Shin is here. Yo, JP Dokkan player here. What's happening? So what we got going on here is we are on Global. And Global's got a world tournament. So I am a Global main if you're not familiar with my channel and what I do here. So I'm excited for this world tournament because Global is getting the World Tournament EZAs, and we've got them early. Because JP, I think, just got it for the first time on their last World Tournament. And I think we're 2 to 3 World Tournaments behind JP, and we got them now. So I'm pretty hyped for that. So I want to get some of these EZAs done. Karmas26 is here. Yo, appreciate all the content. Just recently returned to DFFOO and loving it. Had to restart, but all the stuff the game gives you starting out is awesome. Yeah, so in Karmas, you can let me know like what a new player gets, but what I was told is they pretty much give you enough resources to max out 3 characters. So you can let me know if that's true or not, but I think that's very generous because in DFFOO, you can ride out, like you could just make a team and you could ride that team for like 95% of the game and probably beat whatever current Shinryu is related to the banners you pulled on. And I don't know many gacha games where you could walk in as like a brand new player and like within the first week beat a Shinryu, which is the highest endgame content. Like I think people too, like kind of like the reactions of that shop where people were maybe thinking it wasn't good or just like want more from it, and like some of the complaints in there were just outrageous. These are players that have not played other gacha games because no gacha games don't do it like DFFOO. Could you imagine if you play Dokkan and I just had, and those of you maybe if you're a Dokkan player watching, you don't play DFFOO, just for context, like in DFFOO you are commonly capped out on tickets, which is like 1,000 pulls. Okay, so 1,000 pulls, and it's pretty common for players to have that capped out. And have even over that sitting in their inbox, and then having enough resources to do 20, 40, 50, 60 multis just chilling in their gem pile, right? Could you imagine if Dokkan gave you enough free draw tickets that you just had 1,000 draw tickets? By the way, these are tickets that can be used on any banner. When it comes out, it can be the newest banner, and has a pretty generous pity system where you can get the newest stuff really easily, including a resource where you can buy the highest tier weapon in the game, which is the BT weapon, and you can get the newest weapon the day it comes out without pulling on the banner if you have resources saved up. That's just wild to me, because Dokkan's quote-unquote pity system is here. We'll give you some coins, but you can't buy the newest unit with it, right? So if you use other games for context, like DFFOO is so generous that the fact that they're even giving you the option to get, because the big complaint with the new shop upgrade is that these BT tokens are expensive, like the high-end materials we want are really expensive. It's like, dude, just be grateful that you even have the opportunity to get it. And the thing I didn't even bring up in my video is like, they give you these materials in other ways besides the daily shop, right? Like we just had the Rubicante co-op and we had 10 freaking BT tokens in there. So people are complaining about, oh, they're giving me the BT tokens so slow. But then they just gave you 10 on Rubicante, and they periodically will just give you them. Like, they're giving us stuff at a good rate in that game. So I'm happy with it. And that's kind of the thing there, right? All right, let's go back to chat here. All right, Radix, I just go with the flow as far as changes to the default. I'll adapt and overcome for sure. I think in the end, people will realize the new shop system is fine. It's good. At a bare minimum, like, it's at least... like the exchange rate is slightly better than the old one. So I think if you're someone that doesn't like the new shop, the bare minimum way to think about it is, hey, it's better than getting nothing at all, because at least I can get the old materials at a slightly better rate, if that makes any sense, right? Because another way you guys can think about it is they didn't have to revamp the shop at all, right? They could have done nothing, still kept the old hunt pass, right? And the new daily hunt token set up the way it was. Nobody would have complained. Nobody would have said, hey, where's a new upgrade, right? We would have just got whatever JP got whenever they got it, and that's what people would have expected. So the fact that we're getting an earlier upgrade, I think, is really nice, that some people might be sleeping on that, right? Yo boy Shin, I'm waiting for a combination of World Tournament to have the World Tournament EZAs and a new SSR. JP just finished its second EZA World Tournament. Yeah, and I don't know how they're going to handle that, because since they started the EZA format, because this World Tournament for us, there's no like brand new unit, right? It's just EZA medals is what we're grinding for, not characters. So I don't know how they're going to handle that in the future, if they're just going to do EZAs for like a really long time until they actually need to bring out new characters, or if they'll do like every 3 tournaments there'll be a new character. I'm not really sure how they're going to format that, because I don't think, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think JP got a new World Tournament character on the last one. I think it was still just EZAs, right? But there was new EZAs in there, which is always good, right? Like the rewards to be, yeah, Yo Boy Shin says, like the rewards to be EZA medals and new units. Yeah. Karmas, yeah, I'm swimming in resources. Never experienced anything like this. I have 520k gems and 900 tickets for the Aerith banner. Yeah, exactly. And your resources are even better than mine, right? So the thing with DFFOO is I don't feel a lot of pressure to pull for like to buy gems at all. And I've been able to pull almost every character in the game. Like, it's kind of crazy, right? And the way DFFOO makes money, I say this all the time, but they short you on the upgrade material, so they want you to buy the packs and all that, right? Yeah, and you pulled everything for Kurosami and Ruby. Actually, just a few weeks ago, like before Mog, I kind of let Mog wreck me, and I didn't need to, but I kind of did let him wreck my resources. But I was to the point where I was over cap on gems, and I literally couldn't draw because I had everything on all the current banners, right? Kind of crazy. Very Cozy, thanks for coming, Very Cozy. Nice to see ya. Feel free to hit me up in chat, Very Cozy, if you anything you want to discuss or ask me during this. This is going to be different than my normal DFFOO stream. My DFFOO stream, you know, I try to talk to chat, but those have been getting so busy that I haven't had time to like connect with everybody, and I have to get to the character guides. This is more chill. Like, I'm just grinding World Tournament. It's the most boring, monotonous thing you can do in Dokkan, but like, I really want these easy A's, so I thought we could just hang out and chat. So I'll definitely hit up everybody in the chat if you want to go ahead and chime in, give your thoughts and opinions. If you want to ask me any questions, feel free to do that. And I think, you know, we're going to have a lower turnout for this. Like, that's to be expected. It's not a DFFOO one. It wasn't a planned one. I literally just in the moment said, yep, I feel like streaming right now. Let's do it, right? Clarence, what are your thoughts on Ishtola? I've been playing with her lately and like her. I like Ishtola a lot as a character. I think until she gets Echo, she's going to be kind of like more of a secondary choice, but I've always really liked her. Her battery's really good. I think the fact that she has Revive with her EX is very good. She has a little bit of delay. Yeah, she does a lot of good things. So I am a fan of Ishtola. I would say she's not top tier right now, but she's definitely like very usable. If you used her as your main support, and then you had 2 Echo characters, you definitely can get some good use out of Ishtola, right? Let's see here. DFFOO needs to bring back the Divine boost for the World of Illusions Divine. Yeah, and I heard that that's not coming back. For a while, they would kind of cycle those back in, but people have been telling me that they're not coming back. So I hope they decide to change their minds on that, because, like, for me, it doesn't matter at all because I've got all that stuff done. But I think for newer players, like, they need to have that boost. So I really hope they do decide to bring that back at some point. If any of you all are JP players and have seen that, let us know. But from what I've heard from JP players, I don't think that it comes back unless they decide to do it as like a global first thing. But yeah, that's kind of a shame because I do think people really need that, right? People will jump to conclusions before even reading are just right. And so the thing that I said in my video, and I know Very Cozy, you're referring to the new daily hunts, right? And I referred to Simply Lost in that video, not trying to like throw shade at him or anything, because like I said, a lot of respect for him, very good content creator. But I think it just goes to show where the confusion was, because even he himself hadn't looked at the prices before. Because I guarantee what happened was he didn't actually look at the prices before he started recording his video, and he went in and started recording, because you can tell by his reaction that he was caught off guard, and he's like, oh, EX tokens are now 80, like, oh, they raised the prices, and he didn't really know how to react to it. And he didn't really give himself time to process all of that information. And because Simply Lost is probably the biggest DFFOO content creator right now, a lot of people in the community probably watched this video right away, and they immediately got a negative impression of it when they didn't fully understand it, right? So that's one reason I really wanted to make my video, because I know I have a decent amount of subscribers, so I know a decent chunk of the community would have seen mine. So I really just wanted to clear up that confusion and say, hey, yes, the prices are bigger, but you get way more tokens, so it actually works out. You get more resources, right? Radix, it also helps that I just bought a Mog Pass. Yeah, so here's the thing with Mog Pass. First thing is, anybody that plays a gacha, never feel pressure that like you have to spend money on the game. If you want to enjoy it for free, feel free to do that. Just know that like you'll be limited on things and you're going to feel behind, but you can still have a lot of fun with the game and enjoy it, right? That being said, if you're okay supporting a game and spending money, I would say at the very least the cheap Mog Pass is so worth it, because it's only $5 a month, which most people could afford that, right? And you do get a lot for just that $5 a month, especially for new players. You're getting, I believe, instead of 5,000 enhancement points per event, you get 15,000. So you're tripling your enhancement point output. And then if you want to go premium, you could go 30,000 and really beef it up for a while, right? But like, I get it. I think it's like $36.99 or something, or $35.99 for the premium. I get that. That's going to be a lot for some players. Like, you can't afford $30-something a month. That's like almost a cable subscription or something, right? That's a lot of money. But $5 a month, I think a lot of people could swing that. So if you're willing to support the game at all with any money, normal Mog Pass is worth it because you get your artifact grinding done easier, you get the enhancement points, a few other little perks here and there. But yeah, totally worth it. So definitely the Mog Pass is a good buy right there. And I'm someone, I think I said this before, I just downgraded from my premium Mog Pass to a normal one. But now with the new announcement, I'm like, hey, I want more of these new daily tokens. So their strategy is working because it's making me want to get premium again. So I did just re-upgrade to premium. Now, I don't believe they've actually implemented those tokens yet. They said there was some issue with it. They had to pull the tokens out. So I'm assuming that whenever they actually get them implemented, I'm going to assume they're going to give their premium Mog Pass players, like, they're going to pay them for those tokens that they missed or make sure that they wouldn't have missed them in whatever way that is. We'll have to wait and see on that, right? All right, I got to pay attention here on World Tournament. I just don't want to die. It wouldn't be the worst if I accidentally died on the World Tournament because I've got all of my like normal missions done. I've got, I'm on tournament number 47 or 48 victories and it's 48 in a row or whatever. So I'm good. But there is like a multiplier that I would lose that I don't really want to lose right now, right? Okay. They have done this EZA thing for the last 2 tournaments on JP. I'm close to getting all the EZAs done after the next World Tournament. That's awesome. Yeah, because I'm liking these EZAs. They're a lot of fun. The thing, too, about this is you kind of get that feeling that, in Dokkan, that I don't normally get, that like DFFOO players get, where this is the first time in a while that I felt like I actually have to like think and make choices about characters. Normally, if it's a free-to-play character, I'm like, yeah, I can, or just any character in the game, because I get pretty much every Dokkan character. I don't rainbow every character, but I usually get almost every character. So if an EZA comes out, my assumption always is, yep, I'm going to do the EZA. This is the first time on Dokkan in a long time where I felt like I've had to choose between characters because, like, I know I'm not going to be able to EZA all these, so I have to pick and choose who do I want to EZA. I think my EZA order is going to be Tech Gohan, then I want that Tech Legendary Existence Goku because I think he's actually a solid support unit. Then I think Bardock, and then I think the STR Kid Goku would be my last choice to EZA. The thing is, too, is all the EZAs share the medals, so if you don't like any of the current EZAs, you could just hoard the medals, and then when the next batch comes out, you could EZA them right when the World Tournament starts if you wanted to. Because right now in-game, they don't wait till the tournament is over to activate the EZAs. The EZAs are live right now. I can go in and attempt to EZA Piccolo, and I can attempt to EZA these other units, right? The one thing I just want to say to players who are playing Dokkan right now is you get these Hercule autograph things, and they're in the Baba shop where you can spend them, and you can buy Piccolo EZA medals, and you can buy the normal EZA medals. Do not buy the normal EZA medals with that, because this is the only way to get the Piccolo medals. So you want to make sure you get Piccolo EZA'd first, and then if you have leftovers, then go ahead and buy other medals for other characters if you want to. But I could totally see some players that maybe already dove in and maybe use that on regular medals, trying to start an EZA, because the EZAs are live, and I could see some people doing that by mistake. So just make sure you don't use those Hercules autographs if you haven't yet. You want to focus on just getting Piccolo with that. And I wouldn't get any of the other resources in there. Just get the Piccolo EZA medals till they're done, and then use them on regular EZA medals, right? Okay, Karmas. Since I have so few units from starting over, I've pulled everything from the banners I've seen, Sarah till now, and just have a huge abundance of, yeah. And the thing is, Karmas, right? Like, you pick a good banner to draw on, and you just get like a team, like, you pick like maybe 2 banners back to back, get like 2 to 3 Echo characters, and you're good. Like, because all the characters are good enough for like 95% of the game. The only way you're going to lose a Shinryu if you max these characters out is if there is a specific gimmick that your team can't meet, right? And then in that case, you have to see if a call or a friend unit can maybe help you with that. But DFFOO, it just runs very different than other gachas. Like, you could max out, start a new account, max out a group, and actually beat Shinryus, which is kind of crazy, right? It's kind of crazy. Can't wait for Tifa to come back. Oh, Tifa is really good. I actually think right now Tifa is the hardest hitting single target character in the game. And I did a direct comparison on Squall's Shinryu fight between her and Reigns. And I had Reigns hitting 50 mil on his biggest shot, and Tifa hit 70 mil on a shot, which is kind of crazy. 70 mil on one hit. That's a lot of damage. Very cozy. Yeah, I played JP. It's looking grim. Yeah, for that, you must be talking about for that divine boost, right? My highest score that I ever obtained in a world tournament is 200 million. 3 days grinds are tough. Yeah, 200 million, man. I can't imagine going. There's no way I'm going to 200 million. It would be kind of cool to get top 1 in my local, right? A trick I picked up from my boy Ningen. I do the podcast with Ningen. It does sound like, by the way, that we're kind of moving away from the Dokkan Battle podcast. But I think they're going to do something else instead. For now, they're just doing like random Dokkan videos. I was actually just featured on a Dokkan video that went live today over on 5.9 if you want to check that out. It was me, Minato, and Saito, and we were talking about the, our expectations for Golden Week, which is coming up. So, yeah, if you guys want to check that out over on 5.9 Gaming, it should be their newest video, and I am featured on that one if you guys all want to check that out. But yeah, 200 million, that's awesome, man. Shout out to you. How do you get different color around your rank in DFFOO? Okay, so for DFFOO, those are called the rank plates, and you get those from Dimensions End. So by clearing Dimensions End Transcendence, the newest one, for certain amounts of tiers, your rank plate will change. So the reason my rank plate is like that platinum one, it means I have all the tiers done. So Dimensions End is how you get those rank plates. Very cozy. Yeah, I was a premium Mog Pass enjoyer, but I'm capped on enhancement points and BT tokens for months. After I spend all my tokens, I'll probably go back. Yeah, you'll get to a point with premium Mog Pass, if the game isn't offering you stuff you need, you should drop it, right? And I think that's what DFFOO was recognizing, is like, hey, Ultima weapons are kind of done for a lot of these players that have been doing the premium the whole time. Like, dude, because once you have 6 or 7 maxed out Ultima weapons, like, you don't really need to stress about it anymore, right? So I think adding these new daily tokens was a really good idea, because now that daily token shop has a lot of stuff I want as a player in that situation. So I think that's part of the reason they did it, and I think they're learning from JP's mistakes, and they're trying to fix them on global. So they probably looked at JP's sales, right? And they said, all right, this is kind of the time period where we really lost sales on Premium Mog Pass. What can we do to rectify that on global? Like, I think that's honestly what it is, right? And I think it was a good idea. And they're coupling that with the Dare to Defy, which I think they're finding Dare to Defy, their pull rates go up, like more people pull on banners when Dare to Defy comes around. So kudos to you, Squex, because there's a couple things I think you all did really right this month. The one thing with Dare to Defy, I think you should just always have it. Like Dare to Defy 3, take the next pocket after that, make that Dare to Defy 4. I think there should just be going nonstop, in my opinion. But having a break in between, I think, is fine too, because I know it does stress some players out. But I really like it. Red854 is here. Thanks for coming, Red. Just wanted to say one of your videos got me back into Dokkan. Oh, thanks. I appreciate you watching my stuff. Red, if you don't mind sharing, which video was it that got you back in? I'm kind of curious to know. And I feel bad for my Dokkan videos right now, because I haven't... Well, it's partly Dokkan's fault, because Dokkan has just been, like, a desert right now. But I've been meaning to do, like... I was going to do a showcase on, like, the failed fusion, like, the Gotenks CCAs. And I was going to do a showcase on the free-to-play Goten and Kid Trunks Awakenings. But it's like... I sometimes don't get super motivated to do those, because I know, like, Truth and other people have done those videos already, and some of my Dokkan videos only get like 30 views. But ultimately, though, you guys, my channel, I do it for fun because I like the game, so I still like making Dokkan videos even though they don't get as many views. But sometimes if I'm not as hyped about the characters, I'm not as motivated to do the guides, right? If I get time this weekend, though, I do still kind of want to take a look at those failed fusions, because I think, they're going to be almost perfect linking partners for each other, and I haven't really looked at them yet myself. So I would like to look at them. I just know they're not like crazy hype or whatever. But some of the Super Strike units are really good. Like, I still love Mecha Frieza and King Cold. I think they're an awesome rotation. And so something we had talked about in that World Tournament video is like, yeah, they probably would bring back like the Super Strike Ma Junior, and then he could potentially link with the new Dokkan Fest Ma Junior, because maybe the Ma Junior Dokkan Fest could be like a giant form and have a different name. I think that could work out pretty well. And then maybe that Super Strike unit would be pretty good, right? All right, let's head back to chat here. I've chosen to EZA my Bardock last. My STR Kid Goku was Rainbow when it was on JP, so it was easy choice to EZA. If you get number 1 local, it's an instant max EZA for LR Piccolo. Yeah, I don't know. Oh, my game crashed. Wow, nice. Okay. I don't know that I'm going to get number 1 local. My local group didn't look like super mega hardcore. I think my number 1 in my current local is like 70 something mil, which isn't crazy. I'm behind that, but it's not crazy. Sometimes I go in my local and they're at like 100, 200 million. I'm like, all right, well, I'm not getting that. My hope, I'm just aiming for top 10 local, because I believe if you get top 10 local and you get all of the daily, and you get all of the other Hercule autographs that are available, then you should be able to EZA Piccolo this tournament. So that's my goal, is I'm aiming for top 10. If not, maybe top 3, because then in top 3 there's a little bit of leeway where I can miss one of my daily login rewards, or not daily login, but just a daily mission reward and still get it, right? Because I heard one of the daily, like, because the World Tournament's only 3 days, but the way the timing works out, you can actually do the daily mission 4 times. But that 4th one, there's only like a 6-hour window you can get it done. So if you want to easy a Piccolo, you have to get top 10 local and make sure you hit all 4 of those login missions. All 4 of the daily missions. And so getting top 3 would ensure that I could miss that extra one and not stress about it and still get it. So we'll see how it happens. It's really a bummer too, because like, if you get all of the Hercule signatures and get top 10 local, but you miss that one extra one in that 6-hour period, you're actually going to be exactly 1 Hercule signature short of being able to fully easy a Piccolo. And I know there are going to be players that are in that situation. It's going to be such a bummer. All right, what's going on here? My game's going slow. Here we go. So we'll see. The other reason I really want Piccolo is I know we don't have the 8th anniversary Kid Gohan, but I still like AGL Kid Gohan. So I definitely want to do a showcase and try them out together. And see, because I'm really excited about that LR Piccolo. He's got actually one of my favorite LR arts in the game, right? All right. Karma says, Squall and Reigns are my big DPS characters right now. So stoked for Aerith. I am also stoked for Aerith. I'll have to double check when she drops, but I am planning to, if I'm available, I will stream for Aerith. I expect that stream to be about as hype as my Rubicante one, maybe more. So Rubicante, we had about 150 people here on stream, so I'd like to at least see that for Aerith. Why is my game like not clicking when I go through this? It's going like super slow on that results page for whatever reason. I need Quina so bad. Yeah, Quina's going to be awesome as well. I think Quina is going to look pretty good with Rubicante as well, because Quina also has traps. And I think the Brave mechanic that Quina has is going to be kind of crazy. So I think Quina Rubicante duo runs could actually be really fun. Although Rubicante solo just seems to be the meta right now. If you can swing it, if the boss doesn't have a mechanic that stops you, Rubicante solo is pretty ridiculous. Oh yeah, since my game reset, I got to redo this. Okay, so Super, STR, and then we want Namekians, which should be right here. There we go. All right, that should guarantee my Piccolos. Perfect. Yeah, it was kind of weird my game crashed. Probably tired of running so much World Tournament, right? For sure. Yeah, Core is actually very insane. Yes, for sure. I just got Core up a bunch, and OMG, I freaking love it. He's not even max yet. Dude, yeah, and here's the thing. I mentioned this about Core when I was doing, like, my community stream recap or whatever. I was like, dude, Core's getting an Echo and BT, and the man is already crazy. So, like, yeah, Core, who doesn't even need the upgrade, is getting upgrades. He's like a must-pull. And he's a character that ages incredibly, incredibly well. I would advise every player to grab him, because he's one of those characters that any player that comes in after his banner and sees my videos, like, regrets not getting him, right? So trust me, you all are going to want Core. Save up and make sure you get that man. He's crazy. Yeah, Core, he does a lot with his, like, it's not even just, like, the off-turn damage, but the way his absolute Oath of Absolute Defense, like, protects you as well. And dude, with his BT, it's going to make it so you can just easily have Oath of Absolute Defense on the whole party without doing the friend swap trick. So yeah, Core's going to be crazy. I'm already imagining, like, Core, Rubicante, and Quina. I think that team might be pretty busted. I don't know about you guys, but I think that team might be pretty fun. We might have to try that team comp out. Int LR Anniversary Gohan is alright. Yeah, I'm honestly that Anniversary Carnival Gohan. The Carnival Goku and the Gohan, I don't know that I'm going to pull for either of them. This might be an unpopular opinion, but I actually wasn't, like, a fan of the choices for the World Tournament, or not the World Tournament, but the 8th Anniversary units either. There's a part of me that, like, might not even pull that much, or if I do pull, it's more because I want to get, like, Gamma 1 Rainbowed or something. Like, it might be more for, like, the side units, but not the main ones. I don't know. Like, we've just got, like, 700 million bajillion Goku Vegeta joint forces units, and I'm kind of getting tired of it. Like, and I don't know. I don't know. It's just like rinse and repeat, and like, and I know it's because it's what sells and people like Saints or whatever. But dude, like, give me an anniversary that's just like a straight up blue Gogeta and full power Broly. Like, it's not that I don't like Goku and Vegeta cards, but like, it's always these joined forces ones, and they're always like transforming, and there's all this build up. Like, dude, give me like a just a turn one blue Gogeta that's just awesome turn one, doesn't need a transformation. Give me a full power Broly, no transformation, just right out of the box, like do your thing. You know, so I was like really excited even for like Orange Piccolo and Gohan. Like that was a really exciting banner for me. Orange Piccolo is one of my favorite units in the game. I'm actually really excited for Golden Week if it's Goku versus Piccolo, like Piccolo Jr. Like I love when they do underrepresented characters, like characters that don't have a lot of cards in the game. That stuff gets me more excited, even if they're less hype, right? Like JP just got Kale. Like, dude, I'm all in on that Kale banner. I love Universe 6. And I'm a big fan of that Kale card. So yeah, that's the kind of character that I might want to rainbow on release if I got the resources to do it. The problem with Kale on Global, she literally comes out at the worst time because she's the banner that's in that Raditz slot from last year, which is right after Anniversary and right before Worldwide Download. So it's going to be really hard for me to justify telling global players to summon for Kale because she is literally in the worst spot. So that's a situation for me where I was just saying I'm not as like crazy high on the 8th anniversary. It's not that they're bad, they're really good. Just for me personally, I'm not a big fan of them. I may like treat Kale as my anniversary pulls and maybe save my anniversary pulls for Kale because I'm actually more excited for her. I see myself using her a lot more than those other units because I like Universe 6. I know Kale needed another unit, like she needed more support with her. But the LR Cal and Khalifa EZA was definitely good, and they're very awesome. And I still like Tech Khalifa is still very usable, provided her, as long as you can dodge on that team. It doesn't even matter if you're against a Universe Survival Saga or Pure Saiyan, because she gives herself naturally 100% chance to dodge if you have enough Peppy Gals on the team, which you will. I can run a full U6 girls team. And so she's going to be like actually a top tier choice still, even without an EZA. And I still like STR Kale. And then the Tech Cal and Khalifa, like I think they're still pretty solid. They just need to build up, right? So I'll probably use them a lot for fun in like longer build up events. Karmis says, do you think I should pull for Zach? Let me just finish getting my orbs here and using my Ghost Usher. And I think I need a drink here. My throat's already getting dry. Your boy's doing a lot of talking on this stream. Okay. Oh my god, we already been streaming for 30 minutes. We've barely even gotten any World Tournament points. Man, this is a grind. Okay. Do you think I should pull for Zac since I don't have Warrior of Light? I do have Ruby, but they seem to fill different roles. So, if you have the resources for Zac, a character like Zac is never a bad pickup because he's a tank. And if you're going to go into lockout content... So here's one way to look at it, right? If you have Rubicante, you really don't need another tank in the game as long as you can use Rubicante. The reason why you'd want Zac or like Gladio or something like that is because of lockout content. So if you're planning to do Dare to Defy, if you want to get far in Dimensions End, you want multiple tanks. So yes, picking up Zac is a good idea for your box if you want that. But if you're a player that you don't care about the lockout content and you're just going from event to event and you're always going to run your strongest characters, then you technically wouldn't need them because Rubicante can cover his role just fine. The one thing that I like less about Zac than other tanks is he's not a counter tank. So, but he still tanks very well. Like he's a ridiculously good tank. He just doesn't counter. So you can't do like insane Rubicante type things. But yeah, he's very good at what he does as a tank. So if you like him, the thing with Zac though that's better than other tanks, his on-turn damage is actually very on point. He actually puts up like really good DPS numbers. So I think the advantage you would have with like a Zac over say like a Rubicante or like a Gladio is that Zac's on-turn numbers are going to be very good, and you could potentially use Zac as your main DPS, I think. We'll see what his numbers look like when he gets his Echo and everything. I'll do his character guide, but I'm expecting his numbers to look very good, because every time Zac gets a new upgrade, his numbers are always competitive with top-tier DPS. So that's the one benefit of Zac, is he can fill your DPS role while being a tank, which a lot of other tanks just fill the tank role. So I think Zac could be a good pickup for that incentive as well, because then that would open up your team building. If Zach's going to be your primary DPS, you could still run a support unit and then even another tank like Rubicante as an extra complement or an extra safety net, or you could double support him and make him look really good, or you could run a sub DPS with him. Like, there's a lot of flexibility there, right? It's the same way I talk about Penelo, where Penelo is a ridiculous support unit, but because she does decent damage, she can dual serve as your main DPS, and it really opens up your team building. So, yeah, if you got the resources, Zach's awesome. I definitely think you pick that man up. I personally like AGL Super Boo, but that's just me. Yeah, so here's the thing. I don't think people have an issue with AGL Super Boo's kit or like him as a character. He is very good. I think the problem people have with Super Boo was he was in a slot where we were expecting support for Kale. We didn't get it. And then they kind of double whammied us by releasing Boo, who is another character who still needs buffs. Like, the Boo team is... The thing with Boo is they've come out with some good Boo units, but they've really heavily spread them out, almost like years apart, right? So if you think about it, like... what was it, 2 years ago before the 7th anniversary, right? Or so it was about a year ago before the 7th anniversary for JP. They did STR Kid Boo, who is really good, but then didn't give him other Boo buffs. So he was just kind of like on his own. He didn't have like a great linking partner or any of that stuff, right? And then for the 8th anniversary, like a year later, we get the EZA for STR Boo, who, once again, very good. But... the STR Kid Boo now has already fallen off, where he's not like top tier anymore. Well, let me do another one of these. So then, and then still not a 200% like full leader skill for all these Boo units like cohesively. So there's still like more to be desired. And now we got this LR Boo, who's, once again, you can combo with that STR Boo EZA and then STR Kid Boo. Like, there's 3 solid units. But now STR Kid Boo is like over a year old, so he's starting to fade, and they still don't have the 200% leader skill. So that's what's frustrating. It's like, okay, well, now you got LR Boo, who's very good, but we need more support for him too. I guess the silver lining to it all is that the power creep in Dokkan doesn't appear to be as heavy this year as it was last year, or as fast. So these units can hang around a little bit longer, but they still got to get these units the full teams. So that's why I'm hopeful for Kale, because even though Kale didn't get exactly what she needed right now, she's shown that she is like a top tier, if not the best TUR in the game, if you have the right units around her. I still think there are a lot of U6 stuff that would be up for an EZA this year. I'm thinking they do a celebration with STR Kefla, and then we would get STR Kale and Tech Khalifa's EZAs. I think you drop that celebration and then we're 100% good. We got a top tier Universe 6 team at that point. So, and then hopefully for Boo, we see another Boo Dokkan Fest this year with a 200% lead, or a Carnival LR or something like that. You never know, right? Let's see here. Radix, yeah, I don't know what I was missing. Plus, I'm glad I got Ruby too. Yeah, Ruby's awesome. Rubicante's awesome. And Sarah and Vanille. Yeah, Sarah's awesome. Vanille isn't like crazy right now, but like once she gets her force, she'll be awesome. I'm a big fan of Vanille. I like Vanille. I personally SA10 the Gamma 1 SSR during the 8th anniversary. I had the TUR rainbowed. Oh, wow, okay. So you got a lot of Gamma 1s. Yeah, that can happen. Yeah, so what happened on the Gamma banner for me was I rainbowed Gamma 2, and I got 2 copies of Gamma 1. So whatever anniversary banner has Gamma 2, I'm less likely to pull on, but the Gamma 1 banner, I think, is where I would pull on the most. And also, depending on where my coins are at, I could just buy the Gamma 1s. I'm a player, even though I don't recommend other players do this, I'm someone that's not afraid to rainbow a unit with coins. So, if I'm feeling so inclined, I might do that, right? All right. Is core worth pulling full? Yeah, yes, Clarence, you need to get core. I said it a little bit earlier on the stream, but everybody needs to get core. Actually, while I'm thinking about it, I'm going to do this right now. I'm going to go ahead and post my Discord. If any of you aren't in my Discord and want to join for talking about more DFFOO and Dokkan, feel free to do that. Let me just go ahead and grab that invite link. Copy. All right, and let's go ahead and paste that in. And then we'll go ahead and pin that to the top. So if any of y'all want to join my Discord, I got the link there. It's all pinned in the chat. All right. I gotta try and focus on my World Tournament grind. We're up to 51 mil. All right. That's the one thing about streaming is I knew I wouldn't do it as quickly, but it's a lot more fun to do this while talking with you guys than just grinding by myself, right? And I'm planning to go for, I don't know, anywhere from 1.5 to 2 hours on this stream. Pretty much as well, what my phone can handle, right? Until my phone gets close to dying and I need to go do something else. Or until my voice gives out from talking so much. We'll see, we'll see. All right, so let's go ahead and pick low. I'm almost thinking enough orbs there. Whoops, use that. All right. Let's see here. Triple A sphere slot tank. Yeah, he feels so good to play. Core is really crazy. Yeah, definitely, Radix. Go ahead and put some orbs on that guy. Core's looking pretty good. If you want to know what to put on Core, I should have talked about it in his last character guide. I'll definitely make a new character guide for Core, and I think that'll be a pretty hype one. His main kit doesn't really change. We'll just talk about what his BT does, I suppose. And he'll have Echo as well. But that's one I won't mind redoing his guide for sure. Alright, a little stamina refresh. I kind of wish I could tell the game to like just give me... Like I kind of wish when it pulled the friend unit in, it would do it based off of my filter so that it would just grab the STR Piccolo for me. That would be really nice if I didn't have to go in and pick them. Oh, Radix. Oh, I saw your Yu-Gi-Oh video. And I'm so used to the first gen rules, I was so lost and confused. Yeah, okay. For those of you that know me, I guess I haven't talked a lot about it on my channel. I mostly complain about this to my IRL Yu-Gi-Oh friends that I play with. But overall, Yu-Gi-Oh as a game has kind of been disappointing to me because the game has gotten so overly complex and kind of not fun, to be honest. Because if you're, at my locals, they're all playing top tier meta stuff, right? So, we're going up against... tier elements when they are top tier and like, Kashtira, Dogmatica, like all this crazy stuff, right? And, just all of the way modern decks run, it's like you special summon like 50 million times in a turn and it literally takes somebody like it can take them like 10 minutes to do a turn. And it's so boring, like watching them combo off for days and days and days. And I feel like Yu-Gi-Oh these days, getting to turn 4 in Yu-Gi-Oh is kind of rare. Like the game's ending in the first few turns. It's either like I set up like what it is like turn 1 player, they attempt to set up an unbreakable board, and then what it is does player 2 have enough disrupt to interrupt that stuff, or if it goes through, does the player 2 have enough to work through all the interrupts player 1 has? And the answer is if you can break their board, then you might have a chance to win. If not, the first player wins, right? It's like who can set up the more unbeatable board first. And there's less like back and forth interaction. It's like I just sit there and watch you, and then you just one-shot me on my turn, right? It's like, I don't know. And what I've always said with Yu-Gi-Oh! Is I think it's gotten to the point where it's so out of hand with the special summoning. What I want for Yu-Gi-Oh! Like, I don't think I have problems with, like, the themes of the decks and, like, how they're meant to operate. But I almost feel like we just need a master rule change that limits how many special summons you can do in a turn. Like, just take Nibiru out of the game. Like, because Nibiru's, like, they gotta summon, like, 5 times in a turn. Like, just remove Nibiru from the game. And I think I would be comfortable with it being, like, a maximum of 3 special summons per turn. So you get 1 normal and 3 specials, and then you're done. And then it forces you to play the game differently and have more interaction back and forth with your opponent, and the turns would go quicker. That's what I would like better with Yu-Gi-Oh! Luckily, in my locals, we also do Time Wizard format, so we do a GOAT format, and I love doing that because that's old school Yu-Gi-Oh! You actually have interaction. It's back and forth. Oh God, okay, so I messed up here already. I brought Int Cell because that's who they gave me, and I didn't put Piccolo in slot 1. That's okay though. It just made me waste another Ghost Usher. So yeah, anyways, that's you. I still love the game though. I play every week in real life. I play Master Duel. I'm loving the Amazonas deck right now. I actually played the Amazonas at my locals for the first time, like in the tournament. I've been playing a lot for fun on the side. But I got 3rd place with it. So that was pretty good because my whole tournament plays pretty much meta. So I was able to get 3rd place with Amazonas, which was pretty dang awesome. Karmas, thanks so much for your responses. Yeah, no problem. Just get 3 trap trick structure decks if you want to, like, if you're someone that's been out of the game for a while and you want to jump in with something competitive. 3 trap trick structure decks is all you need. And then if you want to get a few more cards to upgrade it, you're good. But yeah, there was a guy on YouTube that did like a whole saga where he was it was called Ballin' on a Budget, I think. Yeah, he was like winning box tournaments and stuff with the trap trick structure deck. It was pretty wild. So what I've been playing for my meta deck is Labyrinth. But I got kind of frustrated where, like, I just, like, I don't know, I just didn't enjoy it. Like, I don't enjoy, like, the feel of meta. I don't enjoy, I don't know. I just didn't enjoy it. So I said, screw it. The Amazoness right now is my favorite deck that in terms of, like, how fun it is. So I'm like, I'm just going to bring that to my locals and play it and see what I can do against meta. So, and I'm glad I did, because that's what I'm really enjoying. And I feel like with Yu-Gi-Oh!, especially for me, after how many years I've played it, at this point, it's like, you know, I've been down that road where I went to nationals before and did all the crazy competitive stuff. But I'm at the point where I just want to have fun. So it's like, I don't care if I win or lose. I want to play decks I like. And if I can shock some people and get a few wins, I'll definitely take it. But I'm not going to expect to get first, ever, right? Which is fine. And who knows, maybe I'll get lucky and it will happen. Yeah, I do too, Radix. I wish it was simple like the old days. For sure. I think Yu-Gi-Oh's got to do something. Because it is just getting out of hand. The thing, too, with Yu-Gi-Oh! It used to be like a new set could come out. I could read the cards, like, pretty much understand what they do. When other people use them against me, I pretty much knew what they did. Now it's like, if I don't play my own deck enough, like, I forget how to play it. And everything is so freaking complex. I can't even imagine what it's like to get brand new players to play Yu-Gi-Oh! Like, if I had never played Yu-Gi-Oh! And someone took me to a tournament where people are playing meta, like, I would be so overwhelmed I wouldn't even want to play. Because, you know, so like in my anime club at school, like, I teach kids how to play Yu-Gi-Oh! And stuff, and I intentionally make decks that are, like, very simple. Not necessarily, like, I even wait a while before I even introduce them to the extra deck, because the extra deck has, what, like 5 different kinds of monsters, and they all have different summoning requirements. Like, we just got to teach them how to summon monsters and attack and do all that stuff first, and right? And, like, what's a spell and what's a trap? I think Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel is a really good avenue to help people learn, because they do start you off with simpler decks and it teaches you how to play. But, yeah, it is what it is. But I suppose any card game after being out for years and years and years can seem overwhelming to people. But I think the Pokemon card game has done the best job of staying very level throughout the years. And I think partially it's just due to its simplicity. It's a lot more simple than, like, Magic and Yu-Gi-Oh! But that's a game that, like, you know, it just stays simple. It stays easy to learn. The natural way the game plays, where, like, your Pokemon have to have energy, like, it's a game that's meant to play slow and have back and forth. Now, there definitely are decks that can ramp really quick and get around that, but it's not, like, as toxic as it is in, like, Yu-Gi-Oh!, right? I think Magic the same way, the way that you need to have mana to be able to do stuff. You can't just put an 8-drop out turn 1. But, obviously, Magic, with all the history it's had, I've seen some crazy, ridiculous crap in Magic that seems so unfair. So, Magic, I think, has its own issues, too. But for, like, anybody just playing, like, a standard match that maybe is newer to the game, it's like, yeah, the mana system forces you to kind of take your time. My favorite card game is actually the Dragon Ball Super card game. I love the way that game operates, and I'm very excited because their digital version is coming out, I think, pretty soon. They did a beta for it already, but I hope more people get into that game. The Dragon Ball Super card game, I think, is absolutely amazing. And I learned it at a different locals in my hometown, or not my hometown, I guess the town I live in. But that store went under, unfortunately, and now there hasn't been, like, in Minnesota, there's literally, like, one store in the entire state of Minnesota where you can play Dragon Ball card game, and it's, like, 2 hours away from me, so I'm not driving out to do that, but hopefully the game gets more popular, and I can at least enjoy playing it online once the digital version comes out, right? At least Tears got hit by the ban list, absolutely. That deck is crazy. So, before Labyrinth, Tears was actually what I was running. And I won almost every tournament with it, because I was the only one at my store running Tier Limit. And I'm going to be honest, a lot of the other players, like the really serious players at my store, they're actually better Yu-Gi-Oh players than me. But I beat them because tier limit was so overpowered compared to every other deck. So even me having less skill, the tier limit deck kind of compensated for that and allowed me to win against people I normally don't win against consistently, and I was winning consistently against those people. So yeah, tier limit definitely needed to go. I think even on Master Duel right now, people are already getting frustrated with it because they limited stuff right away, but not nearly as heavy as it is in the actual TCG. So yeah, tier limits, they're not going to last long on Master Duel. I think people are pretty upset with it already. It's a pretty toxic deck, so I'm glad I got rid of it. And I actually, for a while, was keeping the deck core together, but I said, no, I'm just going to get rid of it. I don't ever want to play it again. I missed the good old days of Yu-Gi-Oh! The first huge ban wave made me stop playing. Oh, yeah, the first time they started banning cards. Some of those old Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards, though, they needed it. Yeah. Like, Pot of Greed's never coming back. That's just too free for Yu-Gi-Oh!, right? And we got so many other replacements for it. Yatagarasu is one that I thought would never come back, and it has. And it turns out, like, yeah, the way the game is in today's, standards, like, yeah, Yata's just too slow. Like, it's not a method that'll work in modern Yu-Gi-Oh! So, yeah, I guess it makes sense that it came back. It would be fun to see somebody actually try to use Yata, though. That would be awesome in modern Yu-Gi-Oh! I wonder how Yata would work. I remember when Yata first came out, though. Like, people were like, oh, it's so weak, and it's a spirit, and it goes back to your hand. That doesn't seem very good. And I knew right away how busted that card was. Dude, attack somebody, and they have to skip their draw phase? Are you kidding me? You just get the player in a situation where they're either top decking or they don't have anything to counter you in their hand, and you just kill them. It might take you like 80 turns or whatever, but you'll kill them. Those 100 attack stats will build up over time. So yeah, y'all thought this was a Dokkan and default chat. Now it's a Yu-Gi-Oh chat, but we'll talk about whatever y'all want to talk about in here. Yu-Gi-Oh really isn't for the casual gamer right now with Modern. Yeah, I mean, it can be casual if you just play with other casual players, right? And what I like is at my locals, I've got a couple of players that they build more casual decks. So usually before the tournament, we'll go in and we'll just play each other for fun. And that's like where I started playing my Amazonas. But last week was the first time I ran it competitively, and I got third place. So I was not mad at that at all. What was I going to say? The other thing that some stores do, our store doesn't do it yet, but I think we're talking about implementing it, where we do like a house rule, and we'd have like a non-meta week, where we could just ban certain decks, and then it would kind of force people to play other things. And I think our store would be pretty on board with that. So then what we would have, or it would be once a month, right? So then we would have our once a month Time Wizard, we'd have once a month non-meta, and then the other two would just be normal, right? I think for the most part that would go over well, but we'll have to see. We kind of just talked about it last week at the end, and didn't really ask like as a whole group, right? But I think that would be fun. The other thing that we started doing for Yu-Gi-Oh, me and a couple of my buddies, those of you that play Magic, you all know what the Commander format is, right? So we actually designed our own Yu-Gi-Oh Commander format, which is pretty cool. And I think that's a really fun solution to Yu-Gi-Oh, because of the way that works. It limits your combos. So those of you unfamiliar with Commander, the way it works in Magic is you have one card that is your Commander, and you just always have access to it, but you have to summon it, still pay the mana cost, whatever. And then it's a 100-card deck, and you can only use one of any card. You can't have doubles of anything. So the way we did it for Yu-Gi-Oh was we did a 60-card deck, only one of each card, and your Commander, we don't have a Commander zone, but you just get to have your Commander in your starting hand. And then the rule is your Commander deck has to follow an archetype. So for example, mine's Blackwing, and so you have to have a minimum of 15 cards from your archetype in the main deck. So that could be spells, traps, and monsters. So as long as my Blackwing deck has a minimum of 15, Blackwing, spell, and traps, and to be classified as a Blackwing card, it doesn't have to have Blackwing in the title, but it could also just mention Blackwing in the text, or if it's a card that's clearly made for Blackwing, we count it, right? And then you can use stuff that is not part of your archetype, but it can't belong to another archetype, okay? So like, and then the other rule is if you're using a non-archetype card, like a monster, it has to either be the same type or attribute of your Commander. So my commander is a dark winged beast. So anything that I put in there has to be either dark or winged beast and cannot belong to another archetype. So for example, I could put Summoner Monk in my Blackwing deck because Summoner Monk isn't an archetype and it's dark, so it shares something with Blackwings, right? But an example would be like I could not put a Sword Soul card in there because Sword Soul is its own archetype, if that makes sense. So yeah, it's pretty fun, and it's meant to play like Commander, where you would play like 3v3 or 4v4, something like that, instead of just doing 1v1. You can do it 1v1. But yeah, we've been testing it out, and it's actually been pretty fun. And then the extra deck, there's no archetype limitation, so you can use archetype stuff from other stuff, and you can or don't have to use your own archetype, but it is still a 15-card extra deck, and you can only include one of any card in there. You can't put dupes in. So that's kind of a little bonus thing here on Yu-Gi-Oh! Our Commander format rules for Yu-Gi-Oh! If you guys all want to try that out. Let's see here. I loved competing in Yu-Gi-Oh! Back in the Envoy era. Yeah. Envoy the beginning, Envoy the end. Yeah, the Chaos days, the original Chaos days. So I started playing when Pharaoh's Servant came out. That's how old your boy is. That's when I started playing. Jinzo was in the set. Just newly released. I remember the weekend me and my buddies started playing Yu-Gi-Oh! For the first time. We went to a local card shop, and he bought the Dark Magician tin, and I bought the Summon Skull tin. So it was literally the first ever wave of tins. Were the first Yu-Gi-Oh! Product I bought. And I think I had pulled a first edition Call of the Haunted, and he pulled a first edition Axe of Despair. Wish I still had those. I would get those graded. It'd be worth a lot of money. But yeah, fun times with that old school Yu-Gi-Oh!, right? Yes, Radix. Dragon Ball does have a card game, and it is actually very good. If you guys want to try it out, I believe if you go to the App Store, there is a Dragon Ball Super card game app. It's not like the full game that's going to be coming out, but it is basically they give you a structure deck and they teach you how to play. So I recommend trying it out and seeing if you like it. The reason why I like the Dragon Ball Super card game mechanics so much, it's done in a way where like it forces you back and forth. It does use like a mana system or an energy system, right? But the thing I don't like about Magic the Gathering is that like you need to have the actual like forest mana card in your hand or the mountain mana card in your hand to play it as mana. And then so what happens in Magic is you get mana screwed, where like if you don't have enough mana, you like can't play the game. And so you can get really bad draws and things like that. What I love about Dragon Ball is it uses mana, but you don't need mana cards. So any card has a color. So any card in your deck can be used as mana if you want to, and then if you do, then it just becomes energy and you don't get any of the effects. So it'd be the equivalent of if you played Magic the Gathering but didn't actually put mana cards in your deck, and then whatever colors the card was in your hand, you could just put it into your mana pool as mana. I really like that because it's really hard for you to brick that way. You know you always have mana no matter what, and then you play your cards. And then they have a really nice mulligan rule where for free, you don't even have to do a full hand mulligan, but when you start the game, you can select any number of cards in your hand and just swap them out for new draws for free. So I really like that as well. It helps the decks to be more consistent, and I think it leads to more fair matchups, because another problem that can happen in, say, Yu-Gi-Oh! Is like there was a match where I played somebody and I literally just bricked so hard I couldn't do anything, right? So the Dragon Ball card game really helps you avoid that. Because you really get your first initial draw, and then you trade out any brick draws, and you can draw for new cards. So I think it makes it so it's more consistent, so that both players are getting their deck kind of at its best, and then you're getting a really true comparison as to maybe who's the better player or which deck is better, things like that. And then Dragon Ball recently, within the last, set or two, introduced a Zenkai mechanic. Not Zenkai from Legends, it's its own Zenkai thing. But it's basically like an extra deck in Yu-Gi-Oh! Where you have like a little pool of cards that you can summon at any time, which also helps for consistency because you know you'll always have guaranteed access to those cards. So yeah, even just talking to you guys about it right now really makes me miss playing because I don't have a lot of people to play against. But I still have my decks built. I still have my collection. Actually, in terms of my graded card collection, Dragon Ball is probably the most of it because the cards are so beautiful. And a lot of them use Dokkan art. So, like, it's kind of like collecting Dokkan cards in real life. And then I also have been getting into the Final Fantasy card game. Not actually playing it, but collecting. Because a lot of the card art has DFFOO art on it. I actually did a video on this on my channel if you want to go find it. But I did a grading video where I unboxed some cards I got. And a lot of them have DFFOO art on it. So it's like I have actual physical DFFOO cards at home that are graded. It's so awesome. I think I went through on TCG Player and I pretty much, any card that had DFFOO art, I bought a foil version of it. Because a lot of them are commons. They're only like 50 cents or less, or like a quarter. So I just went and bought them all and got them graded. It was so fun. It's expensive because the grading is not cheap, but it was worth it for me. Right. Yeah, it's my fault I started it. Yeah, yeah. I remember getting the Yugi and Kaiba started. Yeah, I also had those back in the day. And I believe those sealed right now would be worth thousands of dollars. So, if only I could go back in time, right? But yeah, we've been talking about Yu-Gi-Oh! For a while. So if any of you guys want to bring it back to Dokkan or DFFOO, feel free to shout out in the chat. For those of you that are just coming in, if you are just joining us, what I'm doing is I'm grinding this horrible, horrible game mode on Dokkan Battle while I talk to you guys. And I normally don't do stuff like this because I normally don't grind World Tournament this hard. But darn it, if they didn't actually want to give me incentive to do it, they finally gave us some incentive to want to do this thing. It's been a while since I've had a very strong incentive to want to grind World Tournament past 23 million points. And this is it. Because honestly, the World Tournament needed this. Because the incentive was so bad before. Because you could even say, well, you get a new unit, right? But when has a World Tournament unit in modern Dokkan been so good that you want to get it and run it in Red Zone? Like, when could you get... Because the thing is these new units, they're not even Dokkan Awakened. They're just SSRs. So, like, yeah, some of them are solid, but they're never, like, premier choices. So why would I want to grind the worst mode in the game for the most time, waste my entire weekend to rainbow a unit that I'm never going to use? Literally never going to use. And actually what they're showing us now is they're not going to be usable till they're EZA. Because these EZAs are actually good. And, like, I want to use them in, like, Red Zone and stuff. But the thing is now it's like, why would I ever grind a rainbow unit? Because at 23 million, I get one copy. And what they're showing you in this new format is they're going to give you 2 more copies when the EZA. So then you're only like, that right there, you're getting them for free at 79%, which is usually good enough because you got both Duke Paths open. So there's like no incentive to go in a rainbow. There's literally no incentive to go in rainbow a new unit now if that's the only reward. But now that the reward is awakening medals, and it's not like for free, they're not just saying 23 or 30 mil, here you can awaken all the characters. No, it goes by ranking if you really want to get the most characters done. So yeah, now we got incentive. My goal is to come out of here at bare minimum. I want LR Piccolo, and I want that Tech Gohan. Which actually isn't the hardest to do. If you only want those 2 characters, it's not that bad. Unless you're in a crazy competitive local. But top 10 locals should do it for Piccolo as long as you do all of the other missions for the Hercule signatures. And then I think you only have to get like top 400,000 or something to get enough to EZA 1 character. So yeah, we're going to be good there. So I'm for sure going to have Gohan done no matter what. It's just a matter of making sure I get my local high enough to get Piccolo. How about we do this? I'm going to finish up this World Tournament, and then we're going to check where my rankings are at. And if you guys are playing World Tournament, let me know where you are compared to me. And we'll keep hitting up chat here as we go. Feel free, guys. We're talking about DFFOO. We're talking about Dokkan. Even a little bit of Yu-Gi-Oh! Whatever y'all want to talk about. And for those of you that have watched my other streams, like, this is the time to get in on it. Because when we do those DFFOO streams... Last one we had like 150 people in here. I could not keep up with the chat. If I ever, by the way, if you're a DFFOO player and I ever don't read your chat during a stream, it's not because I don't like you or I ignored it or whatever. It's like I literally run out of time. The chat's going too fast. I don't see it when I'm going. It's just so hard. I'd love to be able to read everyone's chat all the time. But when we get really busy like that, I just can't. Because otherwise, the whole stream is me reading chat and we're not actually doing the character guide, which is what y'all are there to see, right? So, yeah, we got to be careful about that. But, yeah, I love reading your guys' chat and that you're coming around. All right. Yeah, so, okay, Radix, so I should clarify. DFFOO doesn't actually have cards, but there is a Final Fantasy trading card game, okay? And some of the cards, the artwork is actually the default artwork. It's literally the default artwork. So it's like collecting default cards in real life, right? If you guys, I'm trying to think, if you type in like Joe Wag's PSA, my PSA card grading video should come up. I might even have a playlist of it. And I think it's my newest PSA video, but I show those cards in the video. So if you guys want to check that out and see what these real life default cards look like, they're super cool. What are my thoughts on Cloud? Cloud's very good. He's not the best at DPS, but his latest rework was really good because that AoE paralyzed can really come in clutch. So I'm going to say if Cloud is on a stage where enemies can be delayed and paralyzed, he's very good. He's a very good disruption character. And I think I would use him as like a secondary DPS, like utility character. But yeah, Cloud's very good, especially when you can utilize that paralyze, right? He actually combos well with Kurasame. So if you got Kurasame, Cloud is a pretty good pairing for him. Because part of what makes Kurasame good is his big debuff, right? And you want to keep that debuff at 5 stacks. If the enemy gets a turn while it's at 5 stacks, the debuff goes back to 1 stack, which isn't good. But if they're paralyzed, it stays at 5. So comboing Kurasame with Cloud is actually really nice because Cloud can keep a paralyzed at 5 stacks, and then you're getting that 30% HP damage up for sure. Let me see. The only World Tournament LRs I don't have rainbowed are Yamcha and Tien, and they're at 79%. Yeah, and so I think they're giving us Piccolos here. So yeah, you should be able to easily rainbow them whenever they EZA. The only LR World Tournament I don't have EZA is Jackie Chun because he's the newest one. What I like about it is, you know, in local, it's the only way to get 2 copies during one tournament. But there isn't a lot of pressure to get #1 local because as long as you play every World Tournament, you will get them rainbowed before they go away. So as long as you're okay just waiting for it, it's not a big deal, right? Eraser is here. Thanks for coming, Eraser. I know this was kind of a shocking surprise stream. We just did it out of nowhere. And we're talking DFFOO, we're talking DOKKAN while I grind this terrible, terrible game mode and try to get points. Cloud would be getting another rework with his FR. He starts to do 10 HP dumps. All right. Well, Cloud's going to be looking pretty good at that point. Cloud is going to be looking really nice there. So at that point, you know, when I made the comment of Cloud is kind of like a sub-DPS utility, I think at the point the man's doing 10 dumps, he's going to be your main DPS at that point, right? He's going to be looking pretty good. And I'm a fan of Cloud. I really like Cloud. I think he does have a nice kit in DFFOO. I think they did him pretty well. All right, so wow, we've been live streaming for an hour already. How awesome is that? All right, so let's do a World Tournament check, and let's see where I'm at. See where your boy is at. Let's see where your boy is at here. All right, let's see where my ranking's at. So I'm at about 56 million. What's my overall ranking at? 6,000. All right, well, we're getting there. I mean, if I'm top 10K at the end, I'll probably be fine with that. What's local looking like? So I'm number 3 local already. And what's my number 1? All right, my number 1 in my local's at 80 mil. It just depends on how deep they're willing to go, but I'm going to try to shoot for 100 mil. So as long as my number 1 is not willing to go to 100, I might actually be able to take first local. We'll see. Because my tomorrow is pretty open, so I'm planning to grind a lot tomorrow. Friday, I wasn't able to play much at all. And today, I kind of had a lot of stuff going on, but I found pockets of time to grind here and there to get to where I was. Because I came into this at, what, like 45 million or something? So yeah, we've done a little bit. We've done a little bit. All right. We're getting to the point, though, where I'm getting kind of warm, so I got to crack a window here. And by the way, in case y'all are wondering, we are experiencing basically like our third winter now in Minnesota. Winter just does not end here. It's just how it goes. We got to the point, like, this was one of our worst winters ever in terms of like snowfall and stuff. And it was just like finally like a couple of weeks ago, we had like 70-degree weather, like everything melted. And we've had like 2 snowstorms since then. And we've got another snowstorm coming this Friday, apparently. So winter just, and it's darn near May at this point. And we're still having like snowstorms. The beauty of living in Minnesota, you just love it. Like, you just never know when winter's going to end. And what happens with Minnesota, sometimes that gets really frustrating. And I think this is what's going to happen this year. We basically don't get a spring. We kind of go from winter right into summer. Because I guarantee, like, after this, like, little winter thing gets over, we're going to have some kind of crazy storm and it's going to get, like, crazy hot. And then we're just going to be, like, in summer. Which is a shame because spring is, like, my favorite time of year. Spring and fall are my 2 favorites in terms of, like, temperature. I'm someone that likes 55 to 60-degree weather. That's, like, my favorite. And we haven't really had it. We've been chilling. Like I said, we had that 1 week with some 70s. But, like, the past couple of weeks have been, like, mid-30s to 40s. And we've been getting snow, mixed rain, sleet, like, all this weird stuff. And then what's probably going to happen is, like, when this is done, we're just going to go to, like, 80 degrees. And just be, like, right in summer. It is what it is, though. All right. Radix says, I remember when I was playing when calls first came out, then took a long break, and when it came back years later, I was so overwhelmed. Yeah, DFFOO can be a little overwhelming to a new player. I do have a lot of, I don't know how deep you are right now, Radix, but I've got a lot of beginner guides. If there's anything you need help with, join my Discord. We'll help you out there. Clouds FR should come in August. That sounds about right. I could double check the JP schedule, but that sounds about right. Top 2000 is always an easy dub. Yeah, if the thing is, Shin, it's an easy dub if you're willing to grind. Your boy normally isn't willing to grind, but this time we're willing to grind. We'll see. We'll see if I get my top 2000 or not. Oh yeah, I bet spring in California is beautiful. I would absolutely love it. Like, actually, my wife is going to... So my wife's sister is getting married very soon. And they're doing her bachelorette, like, weekend, like a bachelorette party weekend. And they're going to Palm Springs. So my wife is flying out on Thursday. It normally would be like, oh, you're just going from spring weather to, like, hot weather. No, she's going from, like, winter to, like, really beautiful weather in California, I'm sure. So it's actually kind of like an extra spring break for her. It's going to be really nice. So I'm kind of jealous of that. Yeah, that's what it is. We're going to skip spring, I think, and we're going to go right into summer, and that's just how it's going to be, right? But yeah, for DFFOO, I got to get... I still have to do my BT token guide for next month, and I got to do my should you pull for the next banner, because that's going to be coming out in a few days. So we got some videos to do. All right, let's see here. Very cozy. I know you played a little Genshin. You plan on trying Star Rail. Okay, yes. Okay, so this is good comment here. So I love Genshin Impact. I played it from launch, right? I honestly, I'm not gonna lie, I just haven't had time to play it lately. I've just been so busy and trying to keep up with my channel. And then there's been like mainline games. I want to find time to play those. So like Octopath Traveler 2, stuff like that. Breath of the Wild 2 is gonna drop soon. So I haven't played Genshin actually in a while, but I still have my accounts all intact and everything. But yes, I did pre-register for Honkai Star Rail. So I tried Honkai Impact the Third. I thought it was okay. But the thing with Honkai Impact and Genshin, I don't like playing them on mobile because they're like action games, and it's really frustrating playing an action game on mobile. Genshin, though, works because I played on my PS5 and I can use a controller and I love it. I initially wasn't going to be interested in Honkai Star Rail because I assumed it was going to be like Honkai Impact, but it turns out it's actually a turn-based role-playing game. So once I found out about that, I pre-registered. So yes, I am definitely going to try it. I don't know that I'll cover it on my channel. I might do like a first impressions video. I've done that before on my channel where like I pick up a new gacha and I do a first impressions video. but I wouldn't like I wouldn't like cover it in a dedicated manner like I do Dokkan and DFFOO unless I absolutely fall in love with it and I'm going to make it a mainstay. Then maybe I would. But yes, I'm going to play Honkai Star Rail. I'm at least going to give it a shot and see if I like it. So that is the next gacha I am planning to pick up. Radix, I have a good amount of... Oh, wait, hold on. Palm Springs is very nice. Desert, nice. Sure, definitely a good vacation spot, yeah. In any case, it's going to be warmer there than it is here, and I think that's all she needs. Just have it warmer there than it is here. I have a good amount of characters, still need different units for lockouts. Yeah, for sure. And I would say that, Radix, if you are lacking like an expansive box for lockouts, I think Zach is a good pickup for you then. Definitely get Core. Definitely get Aerith. You're going to want them for sure. Laz Josh Williams is here. Thanks for joining. I'm so freaking mad I lost my SD to my phone. Lost your SD. That's the only reason I can't play Dokkan. Oh, dang. Okay. Do you play Vanguard Zero? Final Fantasy? Okay. I do not play Vanguard Zero. I played Final Fantasy Brave Exvius on launch, and I loved the sprite graphics. It reminded me a lot of like a Final Fantasy VI style, but just like a little bit more detailed. The problem with Brave Exvius, I just stopped enjoying it at some point. And I think the thing that's frustrating about Brave Exvius that DFFOO does the opposite of, which is why I like DFFOO so much. Brave Exvius does the more common gacha model, where it's like, here's lightning. Now here is swimsuit lightning. Now here is lightning dual card with somebody else. Here's lightning in this battle armor. Here's lightning from this movie or some... Like, they release the same character like 50 times, and then it outclasses the previous version of that character that you pulled for, which drove me crazy. It was just a constant outpouring of new characters, and I could never keep up. And when I played, which was in the early days, the rates were not great, and it was kind of hard to upgrade characters. What I like about DFFOO that's so much better than Brave Exvius is you invest in a character, and rather than coming out with Aerith and then making like Swimsuit Aerith a different character, they just upgrade Aerith, and they'll come out with new weapons. So yeah, there's new things to pull for, but you're working with the previous investment and you're building characters that you've enjoyed and played with. It's not like my character's all of a sudden outclassed, I just throw them away and I wasted all that time on them, right? So I like that. And it's not that every game has to do it like DFFOO. Like, sure, the natural progression, like Dokkan does it, right? Like, eventually a character is going to phase out and you don't use them anymore. Dokkan has an EZA system, though, that at least once in the character's lifespan, they get an upgrade and they get brought back to relevancy. And I think that's enough, right? Now, I don't expect an EZA 2 to come out. Like, I don't know in Dokkan if it's wise to just constantly keep rebuffing the same characters. Maybe they could make it work. But DFFOO, it's a perfect model because Final Fantasy has a way more limited roster of characters to work with. So they need a way to like retread and reuse the same characters again. So I really like that model. Brave Exvius just got kind of crazy with all the different characters. And then, in my opinion, it's a much more difficult game. I found it to be quite difficult. I found it to be a lot more grindy. So the other thing I like about Dokkan and DFFOO actually are both good at this. It's very easy to max out a character when you pull them. Now, I'm not talking about like rainbowing a character on Dokkan. Like, you pull one copy, and it's very easy to get that character to max status for what you have, right? You just throw some potential orbs in, you go into a training thing, pump the items in, it's all good, right? Some of these newer gachas, like, I really got turned off by the Octopath Traveler gacha, because I really love Octopath Traveler. But, dude, the gacha, it takes forever just to get the max levels on a character. And then they don't even have a proper EXP grinding stage. You have to freaking watch an ad to play the EXP grind stage, and you can only do it 3 times a day. Like, that is so greedy. Like, I hate when games do that. One, they limit, like, because the big thing I want to do as a player is I want to max out my characters and enjoy them, right? Like, I feel like you don't truly use a character until they're maxed out. Well, if I pull a character and they're already outdated by the time I max them out because it's such a freaking grind, like, then I just get tired of the game and I throw it away. Like, I'm done. So, yeah, DFFOO and Dokkan are both good. Like, I can very quickly, like, get the character ready, right? On Dokkan, I can SA10 them, get them to 55%, put the orbs in, it's good. It's fast. DFFOO, same thing. they make the level grinding stage very easy. They give you EXP books to double and triple the experience. They've really streamlined the summon boards. The summon boards used to be like a crazy, crazy grind. They've made that a lot better. It's a lot faster. And then as you become more of a veteran and you max out more characters, then there's less grinding you have to do when new stuff comes out. It's nice. So yeah, XVS just felt very grindy to me, a little too difficult. I hated all, like, it was way too heavy on the gacha stuff. Just things like that, right? Let me see. I'll never forget about Mobius Final Fantasy. Yeah, that's one I actually never tried, so I don't have an opinion on it. It's unfortunate because I think a lot of people did like it, and the game didn't last terribly long. But I think it only made it like 2 or 3 years. Am I right about that? I think it was only a few years that game was around. Brave Exvius feels predatory impulse system. Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, exactly. I feel like DFFOO is just so generous and so nice. And I've said this before. I'm not like a spokesperson for Squex. One, because they don't even know my channel exists. I'm not endorsed by them, right? Squex Joshua, like, has never mentioned me on his channel. He talks about Simply Lost, right? Other people like that, but I'm sure they're not even aware of my existence. And two, I just got done bashing their other game, Octopath Traveler and Brave Exvius. So I'm not a salesperson. I'm just someone speaking honestly from the heart, right? Like how I feel about the game. And not that Brave Exvius is bad, not that the Octopath Traveler game is bad. Like, if you all like the games, that's great. I just didn't like some of the things in there, right? Oh yeah, Genshin, if you all want to see like a... if you want to see bad pull rates, play Genshin. Genshin is one where, like, you literally have to go to pity to get the 5-star almost every single time. Or you get what's called a soft pity, where you've done so many multis, they actually increase the rates secretly. But then they eventually give you a pity anyways. Genshin's rates are terrible. Terrible rates. But on the other side of it, Genshin is a very fun and it's a very robust game with a ton to do. And you don't have to pull for anything to have fun with that game. The free characters they give you, you can build them up and have a lot of fun. Genshin, though, is another one where it does take a long time to max out a character. I think it's one of those deals, though, where you're more of a veteran, you have more, like, materials pre-collected, and it's a lot easier. And, I was at a point in Genshin, it's been a while, but I was at a point where I had all the content in the game cleared. So then it was actually fun to upgrade characters, and then it took a little bit of time, because that was my main focus. I would just sit and grind out materials for new characters that I wanted to upgrade, right? So I think Genshin's fine. Like, it's got a good system. I do think the pull rates could be better, but it works for their model. They're making a crap ton of money. The thing you guys have to know about gacha games, if you're unhappy with the way they do things, the best way to send the message is to not pull. People have sent Genshin the message that we're going to give you a crap ton of money the way you're doing it, so why would they stop doing it that way, right? That's the message we're giving them, that we're okay with it, so they're not going to change the rates anytime soon. Not until they start to see their numbers significantly dip will they change the rates. Radix, over 150k gems. I do plan on working up core, and now have enough for Aerith. I love that she has revive. Yeah, Aerith is very good. Queen Banner has Raijin. Oh yeah, that's going to be a very easy must-pull recommendation, because you're getting probably the best call in the entire game. I would say it's probably between him and Reigns right now for best call in the game. I would say it would be those two. The only reason I wouldn't say Rydia, like, Rydia is definitely top tier, but the only reason I don't put Rydia on the same level as them is Rydia's call can get locked out. And I've been noticing, as I read all these Shinryu bosses, like, most of their actual deadly attacks can't be dodged. So they do negate dodge quite a bit, because they know how busted it is. I could just bring Edge into a fight and my whole party dodges the whole fight. So I think they're pretty careful with dodge on some of these fights. So Rydia isn't as useful as you would think. It just depends on if the fight is locked out to dodge. It's kind of like when you're doing these Dokkan red zone fights. It's like, if you can dodge, which most of them you can, a lot of characters you can use. If you can't dodge, you're way more limited on what you can use. Those moments you have Aerith FR max before she hit her BT. Really, yeah, so Aerith is a character where I really wish I had 50 BT tokens ready to go, and I don't think I will. Because I already have her, like, blue maxed out FR max. I literally only need her BT. So it's gonna suck to have to go in and just gem pity the BT, and that's the only thing I need. So she is like the best target for BT tokens, if you're someone that already has her maxed out. And I'll probably talk about that when I record my BT token guide. And she might be my top recommendation just for that fact that she's a character that a lot of players might already have maxed out. And I do plan to get that video out before she drops. But actually, if I think about it, is Aerith the next banner? I think there's maybe a banner before her. I think she drops on the 27th, which is like 5 days away. Maybe Aerith is the next banner. I'll have to double check that. I will have to check that. All right. Where are we at right now, dude? We're at about an hour and a half. We're probably getting pretty close to where I might want to wrap up. I'm starting to get a sore throat, so that means I've been talking a lot. And we'll see. We'll go a little bit longer. I mean, I want to keep grinding this World Tournament. Yeah, Genshin is weird because you can lose that 50-50, but Mondstadt and Leeway characters are very bloated to the point that you don't need to pull. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's the other thing about Genshin is, like, you hit pity, and then you have a 50-50 chance to get the featured character. But if you don't get the featured character, then the next time you get a 5-star character, it will be the featured character. And the nice thing is that carries from banner to banner. So I could be pulling for, say, Ganyu. Maybe I don't get Ganyu, I get a different character. And then later on, I want to pull for, you know, another new character. Then I'm guaranteed to get that new character if I get a 5-star. 5 days until I say rip to 50 BT tokens unless somehow I get stupid lucky and get her BT on the free multi. That's what I'm hoping for, is the hit on the free multi. That would be the best. All right, so Aerith is next. So you know what that means. I got to get the Should You Pull video out. I got to get a lot of stuff. I don't know. Should we just record the Should You Pull video now on stream? I could record it on stream for you guys. I could, and then just put it up on my channel. I don't know. Do you guys want me to do that? Should I do my Should You Pull for Aerith, like, on stream? Maybe. Because it is a video I want to do. Like, I would put it out, like, tomorrow, probably. The great thing about Aerith is that Quina is after... Yeah, I know. Quina and Aerith, man. I'm telling you, Quina, Aerith, Rubicante Core, like, that's some top-tier stuff. Like, this is a pretty bloated month. There's some good characters here. There's some good ones. Oh, you guys are down. That would be awesome. All right, let me so we're on the final round of this World Tournament. Let's do one more round of World Tournament, and then yeah, let's do like a Aerith Should You Pull video. Let's do it. Let's have some fun here. Aerith Should You Pull. You guys will get first access. I mean, I think you guys already know the answer to that, right? But it's fun hearing my analysis of the characters, right? And those of you that don't know what's coming in JP, even though we know that the Aerith banner is there, the thing on the community stream is they don't talk about the side characters. So I will definitely be talking about the side characters on the banner. Lunatic Screamer, my boy, is here. To be honest, I've had some insane luck with the previous multi-tickets to get Kursame and Rubicante. That's awesome. For sure. I have BT tokens. I just need to grind them. Yeah, that's awesome. Gonna be great. All right. Let's get one more. So I think what we'll do... All right, I'm at 57 wins. Let's get one more World Tournament done. Then we'll record the Aerith video, and then we'll probably dip after that. I think that's what we'll do. And then we'll call it a solid stream, because we're going to be probably approaching 2 hours at that point. And then that way I can get a video done with you guys here. I don't mind doing that, for sure. I didn't even ask you guys all about the audio, but I'm going to assume it's good because nobody's like said anything weird. There is music, right? There's music in the background. I hope everything's good. Let me know. Probably good to know that before I do the Aerith part. Very cozy. Yeah, I do feel like the side characters should be talked about more. I feel like the new players get misguided by trying to only pull and build. Yeah, exactly. So I do make it a point. Actually, let's do Broly. I do make it a point to talk about the side characters because most of the time they're insignificant, but once in a while, like, you know, like for example, You know, like if Selfie's a side character, right? There are some very, very impactful side characters. Or like Gladio was recently on a banner. I think it was on Tifa's banner. Or maybe it wasn't Tifa. It was maybe a different one. But yeah, like having a character like that is super impactful. And so, you know, we'll be talking about Raijin. Raijin as a side character, absolutely insane, right? Very, very good side character to get. All right. Come on. Why is it so like that reward screen? It just takes forever. All right, Piccolo. Let's get it done here. All right. Got to Ghost Usher. My Ghost Ushers are definitely taking a hit, but that's what I got them for. Karma says they're really impressed with the results of Kurosame. I am also impressed with Kurosame. It's kind of a common trend where I go into these character guides for kind of like the less hype characters, and I actually get pretty dang impressed. Neon, I was really impressed with Neon. Kurosame, I think, is great. And dude, I brought him into like that newest Dimensions End, and mine has no BT, and he still put up really awesome numbers, right? Granted, I did have the Ultima weapon on him, but I didn't get his BT effect. I didn't get the, you know, the freeze debuff with him or any of that, and he still was really good. Okay. We'll let Broly annihilate here. We'll finish this World Tournament, and we'll do an Aerith poll video. That's what we'll do. That's what we'll do, guys. We'll get her done. Aerith poll video incoming. Yes, very cozy. I did talk about Porom. Dude, I love Porom. I think Porom's awesome. Yep, I did talk her up. I tried to talk her up very good, very well. I love her White Wave. She's very defensive, gives you a ton of HP. Porom is also really good. I did a video once on like the HP team comp. Because Porom, and then there's, what is it? What's her face? Oh gosh, I'm drawing a blank. The Final Fantasy V bow girl starts with an L. Lenneth? Why am I drawing a blank on her name? Yeah, Windrake's Arrow Girl. That one. There's so many names, you guys. But she also depends on HP for like her big attack or whatever. What? Come on, Dokkan, let's go. So like running her with Porom, then like Gladio, who has like a ridiculous truck ton of HP, like you can actually get, so that twin cast follow-up like is scaled off of HP. And then, Lena is the one. Sorry, Lena. Yes, Lena. Oh, I was just drawing such a blank on that. Lena's special HP plus attack scales on HP as well. So if you run those two with Gladio, like that's actually a pretty fun team. Let's see here. When I saw that video of yours with the Ruby Kurosame solo against the Dimensions End, I went to do that myself. I think that's the route a lot of people went. Because you need to use Kurosame to get tickets anyways, and it just seemed like the path of least resistance. What you guys should know is when you watch my DFFOO runs, you're always going to see probably the easiest way to get the mission done, because I try to make it as easy as I can for myself. I don't do crazy challenge runs. I try to go with that path of least resistance, right? Neon is amazing. She's my main in co-op. Yeah, I love Neon. Robbie's here. Thanks for coming, Robbie. Yeah, thank you for all your video guides. So informative and amazing. Thanks. I'm glad you liked the videos. I'm glad they helped. Those of you that are just hopping in, by the way, we made a last minute decision. We are actually going to, we're going to record an Aerith video tonight. You guys are going to get to see my Aerith poll video early. I'm going to do my Should You poll. I just decided on it. If I'm feeling spicy, maybe we'll do the BT guide too. I don't know. We'll see. Let me see. Robbie, thank you for all your... Oh yeah, I already said. I just want to repeat that again. Thank you for all your video guides. They're so informative and amazing. Sure, we'll read that one twice. Yep, Freya Sphere is what I use on them because that's the HP up one. Yep, for sure. Yes, Lena, I know I'm dumb. So many characters. Brandon is here. I did Kurosame for the tickets, then went back and used Onion for the left gate and Rubicante solo the rest, for sure. I need Arale to come back. Are you talking about Arale on Dokkan? Because I don't know that Arale is going to ever come back on Dokkan. If that's what you're talking about. A Raleigh is a very tricky one because it's kind of like a different license in a way, and I don't know that they'll ever get permission to bring them back. Because, dude, they're way overdue for EZAs. Now, the LR Goku and Arale, I think they could possibly get an EZA still because they're not a part of that actual Arale celebration. I don't know. Yeah, the sweet freaking intro's incoming very soon. You got that right. Semi-final. All right, 2 more fights left, and then we're going to do this Aerith video. That is the plan. I think I will have to stop after the Aerith video, though. I think I've... my throat is getting very scratchy, and I'm actually worried I'm going to lose my voice if I go too long. And that would be bad, because I still want to do more videos this week. If you guys watched me back in September of this year, I actually got really sick. I got bronchitis, and I actually legitimately lost my voice for like 2 weeks. And I had like squeaky mouse videos where my voice was just terrible. So if you want to go back to September of 2022, watch some videos from that time. Your boy was struggling a little bit. I don't want to get squeaky voice again. So what I'll probably do is we'll do this Aerith video. And then I'll probably just head to bed. It's like 10 p.m. my time. I know, kind of lame to go to bed at 10 o'clock on a Saturday, but I think I need the sleep. Yeah, you want it to come back to Dokkan. Yeah, I mean, it would be cool if it did, because that would be a lot of unique name characters that we could have in the game, right? All right. No friend request. All right, here's the final, and then we're going to do the Aerith poll video. Yeah, there was a frog. I think it was even in one of my title descriptions where I said, like, something about, like, a frog doing a DFFOO guide or something. I don't remember what it was. I went from, like, squeaky voice to frog voice. It was bad. But I'm too passionate, you guys. I like doing my YouTube videos. I didn't want to stop. And in some of those videos, it wasn't like I didn't feel good enough to do the videos. It's just my voice wasn't there. All right. All right, that's it. Let's see where we're at. And then probably what I'll do is after I leave the stream, I'll probably still be grinding this World Tournament. All right, we're at about 60 million, so it's pretty decent. I think 60 million is the highest I've ever done. I know that seems lame, but like I said, I haven't really had a good motivation to want to go deeper than 30 mil on these World Tournaments. All right, well, let's swap over the DFFOO. You guys get to see all the cool stuff here. Switch to the DFFOO layout. All right, so before I hop in here... Oh, you know what? I got another video up. I got to do that. There we go. Okay. Let's get DFFOO loaded. I actually have to, like, do a little research here. I'm not ready to just hop right in. I just got to pull up some info for myself here before we go into this pull video. It should only take me a second, though. And then what I do is I set up the characters on teams in my box so I can just have them there available to talk about, right? Whoop, that is not the right website I wanted to go to. Aerith is 4 days. All right, all right. Aerith be dropping soon. All right, so let's get in here. Let's find Aerith. Let's find Aerith's banner. I'm kind of excited for Pain. I think Pain's gonna be kind of fun. All right, let's get our let's get our banner set up here. All right, so we're gonna have one banner here is going to have Aerith. So let's find Aerith. Where's my girl Aerith? Right here. So we're gonna have Aerith. Yeah, you can see my girl's ready, right? Max FR, blue armor. We just need that BT. It's all we need. So we're gonna have Aerith, and it looks like we're going to have, is that Alice, or is that Alphanod? Hold on. Let me see here. It's Alphanod or Alice. Let me see. I think it's you. I think it's Alice. Let me look at your weapons here. Yeah, it's Alisei. All right, so we got Alisei coming back. Alisei's kind of cool. I really want Alisei. I think Alisei would be fun with a BTFR. I don't know if JP's gotten that one yet. Oh, okay, and we've got Ignis, huh? Okay, Ignis is actually a really nice pickup. Ignis is a nice... Ignis would be an example of a very nice side character to pick up. So Aerith's banner is actually looking very nice. That is a nice banner. And then we got Zach's banner. So let's see what Zach's got going on here. Zach, my boy Zach. So we're gonna have Zach, and then Zach is gonna have Zell and Aphmau, huh? Okay. So we got Zell, and we got Aphmau. Aphmau's what? FF11. There's Aphmau. Okay, Zell and Aphmau. I definitely think Aerith's banner is stronger. Alright, but I should save that for the video, right? Save it for the video. Alright, well, let's hop in and do this video, you guys. You guys, first access, spur of the moment, wasn't planning to do this live. You guys are all getting it live. Let's go. Hey guys, thanks for joining me for another Dissidia Final Fantasy Opera Omnia video. Today we are going to do a should you poll on the Aerith banners. And surprise, surprise, I'm doing this live. I'm on a live stream right now. I decided to live stream for the DOKKAN World Tournament, and we're just chilling. And I'm like, you know what, guys? Should we just go do the video? And they're like, heck yeah, let's go do the video. So you never know. If you like and sub to the channel, you'll get notifications, and you might know when I go live, and you might get early access to one of these videos. I definitely do it for the hype character guys, and I think we're going to be live streaming for Aerith. So keep your eye out on that. Basically, when her banners drop, I will be live streaming my polls and then the character guide. So if you want to get in on that, please like and subscribe. Hit the notification button, then you'll know that it's going to happen, right? All right, so we got two banners here. So we got a Zach banner and we've got an Aerith banner. What I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about who's on the banners, give you a little summary of what the character does, and then let you know if I think you should all pull or not on the banners, right? So the first banner here is going to have Zach, it's going to have Zell, it's going to have Aphmau. Aphmau, I would say, is an example of a side banner character that you could get use out of. Aphmau's main utility is turn manipulation. I'm going to say this right now, if you're someone that is a Reigns user, Aphmau would still combo incredibly well with Reigns, and I could see like Aphmau, Reigns, and Kurasame actually being kind of a ridiculous team. Because what you can do is Aphmau and Reigns can interact in a way where they can ping pong their own turns and leave the third character without attacking at all, essentially, right? So a couple things you can combo with this is you could put like an off turn like Kain. You could have Kain sitting up in the air, and you could have Aphmau and Reigns ping pong while Kain's dropping spheres. Like, that could be really cool. But I think Kurasame is kind of notable in that, well, maybe it wouldn't be as impactful. My thought with Kurasame would be that you'd have the BT effect up, and then the enemies would just stay frozen. But the problem is, the Reigns Aphmau trick is you're not giving the enemies turns either, so I guess that doesn't really matter. But where it does impact Kurasame, I would say, is you could keep his buff at 5 stacks and be doing 30% damage. So I think in that aspect, it is still like a nice combo with Kurasame. So you could do Aphmau, and this can combo with other characters. It's just a lot of turn manipulation. Aphmau's damage, terrible. Like, pretty much consider like you're not getting any damage out of her. It's not good. But she's there for like the turn manipulation. Should you pull on this banner just for Aphmau? No. I would say only in very rare instances would I say the banner's worth pulling on just for the side character. That's very rare. That would be like Selfie or Gladio level. But this one would not be the case. So Aphmau, if you get her, you can do some turn shenanigans with that, but not necessary, right? Then we have Zell. Zell is definitely not worth pulling for. He's just basically a damage dealer, and we've talked about this before. You really can't sustain yourself. You can't really compete with BTFR characters if you're an LD only banner character. You just can't, right? Zell, he's kind of like a mini Terra. He can do things where he gets a lot of turns. His kit is very unique, though. He's kind of fun to play, where his attacks are like on rotations and like you're forced into certain attacks. He's interesting. He's interesting to play, but as his main role being a DPS, he's not really worth it, right? Then we have Zach. Zach is a very, very good tank. And I do think if your box is lacking tanks, Zach is a very good pickup. So Zach definitely will have worth for some players. I know there are many players that already have Zach's kit, so pulling on this is a non-factor anyways. So obviously if you already have Zach, there's no real reason to pull here. But if you're a newer player, I think Zach is a good character to have in your box because you're going to want multiple tanks for lockout content. Now, I know Rubicante's banner should still be up, I think, when this banner comes up. But if anything, Rubicante's banner is up right now, right, as I'm doing this video. So if you're contemplating getting Zach, but you don't have Rubicante, you all need to get Rubicante. Rubicante you're going to pretty much always use over Zach, except for the rare case of a fire elemental lockout. But Rubicante is just hands down better. But Zach is still fantastic. The only thing with Zach is that he doesn't counter, but I would say Zach's on-turn damage is better than most tanks. So you could get some value with Zach as your main DPS, right? So yeah, Zach I think for some players will be a nice pickup. Is it a must-pull for every single player? Probably not, unless you have like 0 tanks, but in that case you need to get Rubicante. So I would say probably a no-go for some players, and for some players maybe yes. The next banner here is we've got Aerith, and we've got Alice, and we've got Ignis. So let's start with Ignis. I will start off by saying that Ignis would qualify as a very, very good banner character to pick up for 2 reasons. One, his call is actually very good. It's one of the few party fire enchant calls in the game. So this could combo really well with another character where that maybe doesn't fire enchant, but you want that fire damage on them. Or if you want to add fire to the party and you want a non-elemental team. But yeah, Ignis, his call is very good for that, and it's got healing on it. Healing is a good thing to have on calls. But Ignis in the party, I think, is usable in Shinryu. Provided that probably the other 2 characters are echo characters. But Ignis as a support character is very, very good. And he'll enchant you for fire if that's something you want. He's mainly like a healing battery type character. And he's got like a smidge of turn manipulation too. So he can fill that support role. Does do turn manipulation and has a good call. So I think there are a lot of good things about Ignis here if you happen to pick him up. Alice, I would say, is kind of a fun character. But unfortunately for Alice, she falls in that same role as Zell, where she's primarily a DPS, and without FRBT, her numbers just won't be there. But she is a very fun, she's unique because she's like balancing between 2 elements. You build up stacks on the elements, and then you do different really powerful attacks as you build the stacks. I think Alice is incredibly fun to play. I enjoy playing her. Whenever her FRBT comes, I'll definitely be all for it. I think she'll be a very fun character. But right now, Alice isn't really a character that's worth it, so don't worry about that. And then we have Aerith. Aerith is the girl of the hour. And she's one that unless you haven't been watching my channel, you already know what I'm going to say. I'm going to say you should pull for Aerith. Aerith is fantastic. I think the most notable thing about her is she is the first Echo character that is going to have the insane Echo charge. And that what I mean by that is her FR is a non-damaging like battery type of attack, which is like a force charge move. And what she's going to get on that is she's going to get a base rate of 80% on an Echo, and it's going to be a free instant turn. So the way I would probably use Aerith is use a different character's FR, and then Aerith literally can just double Echo back to back and pump the gauge up like huge. And these non-damaging Echoes, you want to use them early because they don't do damage. So waiting till later to use them doesn't really do anything for you. So she's the type of character that you pop your FR, double Echo with her, your HP gauge is going to be insane. Like very early, very quick. And then she has top tier auras in the game. Very good healing character, very good battery character. She's got a new revive mechanic she gets with her BT that's very good. She's the type of character that not only is like very top tier meta relevant right now, but she's the type of character that will age incredibly well. These are the types of characters that will last for months, if not maybe even an entire year, and can basically, I think she's a character that'll make it till the next time she gets a rework. We'll put it that way, right? She's going to be good for a long time. A very good investment character. Even if you already have good support characters and tanks are the 2 types of characters that I think you need to have many of these characters in your box. Because in lockout content, like every team comp, I want a support character, right? And many difficult fights, I want a tank. So you want to have multiples of these because we do have Dare to Defy 3 coming. And then there's Dimensions End, which I know some players are working on. But you really, really need to have access to a lot of support characters and a lot of tanks. So even though Aerith is top tier right now, She might not be top tier in a couple months, but darn it if she isn't going to be still really good to use as a support character in lockout content or in main content if you don't have other support characters. So Aerith to me is kind of like one of the must-pull banners of the month. Now, the problem people are going to have with Aerith is the problem I'm going to have, in that a lot of players already have her maxed out because she is really good. She's been pretty much every iteration of Aerith has been good. In support characters, it's really hard to go wrong with these characters. They're very, very good for just the auras and support that they're doing to the party, right? So the problem I think a lot of players will have with this banner is they might literally only need Aerith BT and nothing else, and that's the situation I'm going to be in. So I would say if you're a player that has Aerith already maxed out and you have 50 BT tokens, this should 100% be your spot to use those, because it allows you to entirely skip the banner and not put a resource in, and then you just guarantee get her BT and you're saving resources as if you were skipping the banner completely. That's really what you need to do with Aerith there, right? So anyways, guys, let me know what you think of these banners. Let me know if you're going to pull or not. But I would say this banner right here, this Aerith and Ignis, very, very good. Ignis is very good value to be getting on the side with her. But she's a top tier support character. The Zac, I'm going to say that one's more up to you. The Zac isn't a must for everybody, but once again, very good idea to have multiple tanks in your box. He does what he does very well as a tank. He's pretty darn unkillable. He gets the zombie mechanic like Auron, where like he just, not Auron, other guy, Final Fantasy 15 guy with the hat. You know who I'm talking about. Yeah, gets the thing where, wait, I gotta get his name. Sorry, I'm really bad with names, you guys. There's so many names in this game, and I keep forgetting them. This Arden, I saw his face. I didn't have to look at it. Arden. He's got the Arden mechanic where he can't die, which is very good, right? So he will do his job very well as a tank. So if you need more tanks, definitely pick up Zac. If you have Rubicante, you're not worried about lockout content, then you probably don't need Zac. You probably can skip. I think Aphmau can be a fun pickup. You're probably not going to get any use out of Zell. Unfortunately, you're probably not going to get any use out of Alisaie. But yeah, Aerith, yes, everybody should pull on this banner. So anyways, guys, let me know what you think. Thanks for watching. We'll catch y'all on the next one. All right, we got it done. We got it done. Let me go ahead and get that file labeled, and then we'll hit up chat, and then we'll kind of wrap things up here for the night. Yeah, for those of you guys hopping in, you're like, this isn't DOKKAN World Tournament. What's going on? We were grinding World Tournament, and then I just kind of felt saucy and said, hey, should we do the Air Should You Pull? And people are like, sure, let's do that. So we did the Air Should You Pull. So let me just get my file labeled really quick. Okay. Now, had I labeled the stream, should you pull for Aerith, we probably would have had like 100 people in here, and then I could have played World Tournament the whole time. They would have been like, what's going on? So no, we kept it true. We kept it World Tournament labeled, because that's what we did for most of the stream, right? All right, so we got that ready to go. We'll get that uploaded in just a few minutes here. Let's check it out. Let's check it out. Let's see here. All right, your boy Shin. I personally started using a specific website for the information. Yep, for sure. I got some specific websites I use as well. I use Dissidia Compendium a lot. I use Tomberry Troop a lot. And then, I don't know the name of this other website, but it's a Japanese website. That's how I look at the banners and see who the banner characters are. Please be Alisaie, I need her LD. That is who it was. It's Alisaie and Ignis, yep, for sure. Oh my god, I love Alisaie. I got her up as soon as I saw her. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, Zell does need a rework bad. Zell, he's almost like Thancred level, where he's been pretty darn bad in the game. I think his initial LD release, like, he was solid at that time, right? That's the best I could say is he was solid. But Zell's a character that's really never had it that great in this game. And Aphmau, yeah, we had Aphmau. Zell deserves the greatness. He does. He does. Hype. Radix says, this is so cool. This is so cool. Was it me, like, doing everything live? Is that what you thought was pretty cool, like, seeing my process? I think that is pretty cool. A little behind the scenes, right? Very cozy. Reigns and Aphmau combo. Take it old school. That used to be, like, the meta combo in the game, you guys. That was, like, the meta combo in the game. I just finished my popcorn easy dubs. Does must pull of each month mean the next 30 days? Basically, it means the calendar month. So when I say must pull of the month, well, okay. I'm basically talking about the community stream month, and the community stream month is really weird. So it's basically May. It's basically the end of April all the way through May. So yes, I would think between now and the end of May Aerith is probably the top choice, but I am going to do like a, so I did my monthly pull plan video, so feel free to watch that. And then I'm going to do a BT token guide where I'll kind of re-talk about some of these characters. But I would say Aerith and Rubicante overall are like the two best characters through the month of May. I think there's an argument for Quina, and Quina, I believe, comes after Aerith. Quina is going to be very good also. So like I said, this is kind of like this end of April and then month of May is actually pretty bloated. Like there's a lot of good stuff coming, right? Okay. And then Very Cozy says, nah, probably not. I would say the entire cycle, given you can green 2 characters a month. Kankido Rico is here. Thanks for coming, Rico. I'm going to be using tickets on Aerith's banner for Zach FR. If I get her BT, great. If not, I have the tokens. That's nice. Yep, tokens are great. Radix, Yahoo, you rock. Thanks, Radix. Thanks for you rock, Radix, for coming to the stream, right? Karma's, Zach is not getting FR Echo. Actually, I think Zach is getting Echo. I can double check that. Give me a second here. I thought Zach was getting Echo. I could be wrong. Well, wait. Somebody else answered it. Okay. Very Cozy said he is. Very Cozy, I won't even look because I thought he was getting Echo, and since you confirmed it, I know that it's true. Yes. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's getting Echo. For sure. Yep. David Hagenston is here. Zell can at least cheese that one. Yeah, there's a Dimensions End fight I think he can solo, right? So, all right, guys. Well, you guys are the goats for hanging out, watching me grind this terrible Dokkan World Tournament thing. Thanks, everybody, for coming. I think I'm going to hop off for the night. We streamed for about 2 hours, so this was a very solid stream. So, thanks for coming, and we'll see you guys in like 4 days for Aerith. I'm planning to stream that. Hope you all come back for that. So, yeah, thanks for coming, guys. We'll catch you all next time.